Hello, and welcome to the Stem Cell Healing Institute podcast. In case you have any questions regarding this program, please write us at info@stemcellhealinginstitute.com. Thank you and enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Stem Cell Healing Institute podcast. We are here with Dr. Zahra Figueredo, and she is back. Hello, doctor. How are you?
Hello, Louise. I'm really well. Thank you so much. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So I'm sure most of our listeners are wondering where you were.
Yes, we've been out of touch with our listeners for a few weeks here. I was traveling in Africa. It was a great adventurous safari in Kenya, where I was born, and then the signal and the connections were so bad that we were unable to record any new podcasts during that time. But we're back now, and after the adventures, and we're just happy to be back.
Oh, so I didn't know you were born in Kenya. What were your parents
Yes.
doing in Kenya, being Canadians?
Yes, we were born in actually the whole family was born in Africa. My a couple of us were born in Uganda, but most of us in Nairobi,
Oh, I see.
capital of Kenya. Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, first time that I hear that. So, doctor, we have a very interesting topic today because it's all about believing what you preach. So, the topic is physician heal thyself. Do you use stem cells for your own life?
Ah, yes. Okay. So that's yes, exactly. So physician heal thyself. So you know what? You're right. I practice what I preach. I walk the walk, not only talk the talk, because I truly do believe in what we do here at the Stem Cell Healing Institute and the way that we do it. I personally have had several stem cell treatments. I will always do on myself what I plan to do on patients, and if I can hack it, I know a patient can, and I know I can give a patient a firsthand account of what they will experience, what they might feel, how they might feel after or before, or whatever the case may be. And yes, so I recently had in May actually, and I thought that it would give us some time for us to discuss it since it's still quite recent, but in May I had my latest stem cell treatment, and I bet you want to know all about it, Louise.
Oh, yes. I want to know what type of treatment you did to yourself.
Yes, so we did a combination of bone marrow and endometrial stem cell treatment, and I don't have any particular health issues, and I think
I
that's
was
mostly
going to ask
because
that.
thank you. Yes, and it's mostly because I do practice what I preach, but I did want to, I'm turning 52, and I wanted to just sort of reinforce just parts of my body that I thought maybe, let's get a head start on these things like the joints and just overall general well-being. So we did my knees and hips because I am a very active person. I exercise every day, quite hard, and so that was definitely something that I wanted to address for my knees and hips as well as elbows and wrist. And so we injected all of those. We did, of course, a systemic intravenous infusion of the stem cells with exosomes and growth factors and all of the proprietary cocktail. We also did, and we did that with mannitol, so we can get the effects in the brain as well, the rejuvenating and the health benefits of stem cells in the brain. And we also did the intranasal aspiration, again, to get the stem cells to the brain. I decided I'm going to do an intrathecal as well, with the stem cells going into the cerebrospinal fluid, because we do that so readily and so often with autistic children and patients with, any kind of neurological condition, stroke. spinal cord injury, Alzheimer's. So any of those neurological conditions, we will do intrathecal. And this was actually my first time having an intrathecal stem cell injection, and everything went flawlessly. And I'm just happy to report.
So this is also to reinforce that stem cell treatments are safe, right?
Absolutely, Louise, exactly. So thank you for pointing that out. And I did forget one more thing. I had such a diffuse treatment. I forgot that I had injections done into my back in the vertebral column also to reinforce the vertebral column, the joints of the vertebral column, as well as disc issues that I have sort of on and off in the L4, L5 regions, which is so common. So I had those injections as well. And yes, Louise, again, thank you for pointing that out. Just to reiterate how safe and how effective these treatments can be, which are not available in the US or Canada, especially the combinations of stem cells, the type of stem cells, the way that we produce and isolate and activate the stem cells. In that, with the bone marrow, we have a proprietary in vivo, which means in the body, method of growing the stem cells. So we used up to almost 1.5 billion stem cells in the whole treatment for basically the whole body, which I had the luxury of doing. And yes, and so we started there, and of course combined them with the endometrial stem cells to get the best of both worlds.
And I have to ask you, and you don't have to answer, but have you done
Mhm.
any cosmetic treatments to yourself?
Yes, I have had some injections of stem cells into my face, and mostly to feel what it feels like and to see the results. And I think if most people do see me, I don't look 52. Um,
I was
and
just that was gonna be my next remark, but because
thank
you
you.
guys have to see Dr. Figueredo, she looks so young. I mean, and then I was wondering if she has done any treatments to herself, because you actually look young. If you haven't seen Dr. Figueredo, you have to research her picture. As the matter of fact, we're gonna make a video of this, and I'm gonna place a picture of her, so you can see that she looks very young.
Thank you. Thank you. And so yes, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, as I've been a physician since the late 1900s. So yeah, it's almost at the turn of the century. So and even prior to med school and even growing up, it's always a sort of been a lifestyle, something that's been instilled in me, but definitely more so after starting regenerative medicine and practicing regenerative medicine, and just literally learning anti-aging from the inside out at the cellular level. And that's the key. It's so easy to have the outer fix with things like Botox and fillers and so on and so forth. But really, anti-aging begins at the cellular level, and that's what my goal is, to address everything from the inside out.
Doctor, I heard some testimonials of your patients, and you don't only treat the disease itself, you do also change the lifestyles of some of these patients.
That's right. Louise, you touched on a really important topic, because we often say that healthcare in North America and so many parts of the world, it's about sort of controlling the disease condition, or, addressing the disease, and not really addressing the whole patient as a whole. And it's so symptomatic relief. It's symptomatic relief, and let's take care of the symptoms, and you're okay. Treatment of a disease, basically. And it's not addressing the whole condition and addressing the whole person. And that's our goal at the Stem Cell Healing Institute, and the way that I practice medicine and regenerative medicine, combined with alternative therapies and lifestyle and diet and stress management. We don't realize how much stress and emotions and psychological impacts from traumas that can take a toll on our health. And so it's really important that we address all of these issues in order to lead the most healthy, happiest, most fulfilling, better quality of life.
Awesome. So, doctor, I need to ask you this. After you've done these treatments to yourself, have you experienced, what have you experienced?
Ah, yeah, that I knew that question was coming. Um, so I had treatment in May, and now it is July, so it's only been a few months. I will say I'm going to talk about my journey. So the first month, I took it really easy for I'm an avid exerciser. I do HIIT workouts, resistant training every day. Just an avid exerciser. So for the first month, I took it really easy, only some stretching, yoga. I began more of a walking routine after the first couple of weeks. And just after the first month, I started to do a little more resistance and started getting heavier with the workouts and no jumping at all for the first month, especially because of the back and the joints. And we want to sort of take really good care of the stem cells when they're new and recently injected. So but nothing that would shear or damage the stem cells. So for the first month, I took it really easy, and and then I started up gradually with the HIIT workouts and resistance training. I'm back at full force now, pain free, completely pain free. I didn't have much pain to begin with, mostly in my back. I did when I had a harder workout, I would feel it in my back the next day. Right now, I am completely pain free after hard workouts. No, nothing in my joints whatsoever. I was starting to feel a little bit of a tinge in my hips prior to the stem cell treatments, and there is completely no pain whatsoever. My elbows and wrists are really strong from doing a lot of heavy weights. I was starting to feel a little bit of more of a tendonitis and perhaps even some micro tears in the tendon of my wrists. And so again, I'm back at full force, pain free. So it's a really great feeling. And with the IVs, with the IV and the cognitive response, I'm feeling that word recall is much quicker. Not that I had much of an issue, but I do feel a difference. So word recall, as well as thinking on your feet and just having just being with it in the moment. And I'm actually more productive after the stem cell treatment with the mannitol and the intranasal and intrathecal. So it's quite phenomenal, and it's only been a few months, and we expect greater changes and even more of a positive response in the next few months as well.
Can we also say that stem cells can prevent diseases or conditions that we may develop in the future?
Yes, that's such a good point, Louise. That we stem cells are preventative. They are absolutely preventative because they have anti-inflammatory characteristics, which are so important in the body because so much of disease and injury is inflammation, and so stem cells help modulate the immune system, the inflammation, so many aspects of stem cells. Again, just regenerating damaged cells, damaged tissues, and preventing further damage and disease.
Did you do the whole comprehensive treatment to yourself as you do to your patients?
Oh, yes, absolutely. So I made sure that I did the whole total detox program that we do with the IV nutrition and the B vitamins and the suppositories, as well as the growth hormone therapy for almost 3 months it lasted, as well as the oxygen therapy. I did the EWAT, the exercise with oxygen therapy, and then the stem cell enhancement formula. And we personalize the stem cell enhancement formula per patient, as per patient, and whatever the patient specifically needs, dosages things like that. But the basic foundation of the stem cell enhancement formula is the key herbs and minerals that help the stem cells, as well as just help the patient as a whole, personalized. And of course, we always address again psychological and emotional aspects of well-being, which is so important to our well-being, as I always say. And that's something I do on a daily basis anyway. I meditate, I do my gratitude list, I I write, do some journaling, and which I condone always. And I know a lot of my listeners who are also my patients, they're probably listening, and they're agreeing with me because they know that I always prescribe it for them as well.
As far as the detox program, that's like a must before you do the stem cell. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. All of this, it's really important because we are sort of cleaning up the body as best as we can and preparing it nutritionally in terms of detoxifying, and then and again fortifying with the right nutrition, B vitamins, vitamin C, the key minerals, and then just following that up with the stem cells. So we're preparing the body for the stem cells with all of this pre-treatment protocol.
So there you have it, folks. You get two treatments for the price of one. Doctor, is there anything else you would like to add to this podcast?
No, I think we've covered a lot of ground, and if there are any specific questions, we are so happy to entertain them. I know, Louise, you have the information for our listeners as to how to contact us.
That's correct. By the end of the podcast, you will find all the information how to contact Dr. Figueredo. And also, if you listen to this podcast on Spotify, you may also go to YouTube and see a video of this podcast. The videos on the YouTube channel are very informative, so you may go there and watch the rest of the videos that the Stem Cell Healing Institute have for you. Doctor, thank you very much, and you have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. You as well, Louise. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, bye bye. If you want to contact us at the Stem Cell Healing Institute or Dr. Zahra Figueredo, you may do it by calling us. In North America, you may dial +1 209 690 7836. Also, if you want to write us by WhatsApp, you may add +502 4220 7297. Please send us an email at info@stemcellhealinginstitute.com. And don't forget to visit our website, stemcellhealinginstitute.com. Also, if you like to recommend our treatments, you may find us on Facebook at Stem Cell Healing Institute. Please follow us on Instagram at StemCellHI. If you want to recommend this podcast, please refer to anchor.fm/stemcellhealing. Also, you may find us with that very same name on Spotify. If you want to watch our videos, please go to Dr. Zahra Figueredo. That is on YouTube. Thank you.